The New York City mayoral race heating up. The Democratic primary is June 24th. Two candidates are running as independents, Mayor Eric Adams and Jim Walden.
And over the next few weeks, we're going to hear from each of the candidates right here on Good Day New York, individually, one-on-one. We want to learn what their vision for the city is and how they plan to improve the lives of New Yorkers. And we begin by talking with Jim Walden, who's a former federal prosecutor running on the Integrity Party line. Thanks for joining us, first of all.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being our first.
I'm very excited. Thanks.
All right, so we're going to get into some of your policy issues in just a bit, but I want to start with a little bit of background about you.
Sure.
Okay, you used to be a Democrat, you debated running as a Republican, and now you're running as an independent. Why?
So I started the race as an independent and looked at the Republican Party, but at the end of the day, I just stayed true to my values. I've been an independent since 2006. I think that the political party system has not done a great job for New York or for America in certain respects, and I think it's time for some new leadership with bold ideas that really just want to get policy right and deliver results for New Yorkers, and that's what I'm going to deliver. Okay,
so as an independent candidate on the Integrity Party line, you don't have to be on the ballot until November. You won't be. When you decided to run, though, you were the only independent candidate. Since then, Mayor Adams has become an independent as well. Has that affected your fundraising, your campaign, or anything with you?
Not at all. I feel like I started a trend because now Andrew Cuomo's petitioning as an independent as well. Listen, they're doing it for political reasons. I'm doing it for purpose. I really, truly believe that New Yorkers need a timeout from politics where they just have a city hall that's concerned about one thing and one thing only, and that's delivering great results at every place in the city that needs it. We've got crime that's still a major problem up in the Bronx. We've got an affordable housing situation that has been an epic problem for 30 years. Neither party could solve it. We've got a homelessness problem that neither party's been able to solve all this time. We need new leadership. We can't be choosing the same candidates over and over again and expecting different results.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, I would get safety in order. Number one, if our streets, our subways, our playgrounds are not safe, nothing else matters. So we have enough money to hire 9,000 police officers just with the overtime budget. If we use 56% of the overtime budget, we can recruit new police officers. That's one thing I would certainly do.
Okay, so you never held office before.
No.
But you've managed a lot of people. What was the biggest amount of people that you've managed? Because when you take over New York City, you got to manage a lot of people.
You do. So I was a leader at the U.S. Attorney's Office. I managed an entire organized crime division. I was at 2 global law firms. I headed the practice, international practice of the what's called the White Collar Defense Investigations Group. And then I started my own firm with my own 2 hands, and I built it into one of the most elite firms in the city. So I've done big things. I've taken on big challenges before, and now I'm ready to take on those challenges for New Yorkers.
I want to ask you about something that's in the news here. I want to start, though. This week, you're a founding partner in your law firm.
I am.
And you hired John Keller.
I did.
Who used to be a former federal lawyer who was involved in the case against Mayor Adams and resigned because he thought the Justice Department should not have dropped the charges. One, do you think the Justice Department should have dropped the charges against the mayor?
No, I don't. I think that was a case that was built on evidence, and one of the problems that we're having at every single level is decisions being made for political reasons. I don't support that, right? It's really important that people know that the criminal justice system is built on integrity, and when there are political interferences, it's just a bad result.
Which leads me to the second question, the announcement today that Andrew Cuomo is under investigation. Do you see a connection between those two?
Again, we'll see what the evidence is. I mean, I've looked at the evidence that underlies the Cuomo investigation a little bit, and obviously there's some concerns there, but I'm not going to get involved in that. He's got to deal with his own battles. What I have to say is that New Yorkers do not have to choose the same problems over and over, and the last thing we need right now is someone who's embroiled in another scandal, and there are more scandals on the horizon. We need fresh vision, we need bold leadership, and we need someone who's got real moral character. We don't talk about that enough in our politics, and if we just choose people that fundamentally are good people that care about others, that's 90% of our problem solved.
Okay, let's talk about quality of life, because it is all about New Yorkers.
It is.
And what they perceive and see every day.
Every day.
How do you feel about e-bikes?
I put a policy out on e-bikes. They need to get under control. I mean, people
licensed or not licensed?
Licensed.
Congestion pricing.
I'm against it. I mean,
Why?
I'm in favor of the policies, but I believe that if you're going to tax people that heavily, you should have a process first. There was no planning around this whatsoever, and they didn't try incentives. They really should have tried incentives if they wanted to get congestion and carbon down. Incentives first, and then if they were going to use such a tax like congestion pricing, it should have been planned better. There should have been clear exemptions, for example, for public servants.
Should New York remain a sanctuary city?
I think there needs to be revisions to the law. I think that the principle behind it is noble, and I was first generation on my mom's side, so I care about immigrants as well. But we have to have more common sense policies. So when the woman Debrina Kawam was immolated on the subway, the migrant who did that to her, we weren't allowed to get ICE to put a detainer on him.
Yeah, speak English, no legalese.
Sorry.
He actually... She was
Set her on fire.
Burned her alive.
And then
Right.
we couldn't cooperate with federal authorities to make sure that he stayed in jail. That's ridiculous. So in those ways, there needs to be reform.
Okay, before we let you go, we're going to do this with each one of our candidates. We're going to have all 12 of you on. We got the Magic Bowl, the Good Day New York Fish Bowl. There's just a bunch of personal questions in here.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Nothing about policy. You pick one randomly. Okay.
Assuming I can read it. I don't have my reading glasses on.
Well, I'll read it for you.
Let's see. What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done? I would say it was my honeymoon with my wife. We went to Costa Rica, and we went through the rainforest to see the monkeys and interacted with the monkeys and got peed on. It was amazing. It was
Listen,
really a fun
I don't
experience.
like monkeys after White Lotus, I have to tell you. Did you see it this season?
Yeah.
I saw a little bit of it, yeah.
Traumatized from the monkeys.
Well, pretty adventurous to run for mayor with no political experience. Good luck to you. And thank you for
Thanks
coming
for having
in
me
with
on.
us today.
Thank you.
All right, Jim Walden. We will talk with more candidates as we continue leading up to the Democratic primary in June. Tomorrow, we're actually going to talk with Whitney Tilson, who's a businessman and education activist. He's running in the Democratic primary.